Yeah, very good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Thursday, the 5th of June, 2025. So, beginning with yesterday, midday synoptic. So, we got a reasonable day in the end, actually. A few showers passing in the afternoon as it got quite convective. But we made very much the most of the day, dodging them, and the evening group managed a reasonable amount of flying as well. Overnight, got this trough that was sort of working its way towards, and that sort of hit around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning with the start of the rain and low cloud. And a lot of this frontal activity is associated with this low centered up over the Faroe Islands here, with a few more lows out in the North Atlantic. High pressure beginning to ridge up from the Azores, but not quite enough yet to clear this low pressure that is dominating at the moment. Today by midday, those sort of smaller fronts have worked their way across, and behind that, beg your pardon, behind that trough that went through last night, we have this warm front that's also going through. And then we're going to have a bit of a warm sector, but fairly nasty conditions within that today as this cold front brings up the rear. Possible clearance potentially around maybe 2, 3 o'clock for a while, but expecting it maybe to cloud over and begin raining again, sort of late afternoon. Midnight, that should be clear. We've got a weakening occlusion working its way towards us. And into tomorrow, majority of the frontal activity is gone. We do have quite a sizable trough that's off to the east of the country. So we'll see how that develops into the weekend. And I've got a low that's just going to be centered off the southwestern tip of Ireland. And that's probably going to bring some more unsettled weather for us, with another warm sector come midday on Saturday. The sat pick then for just run it forward to the current time. See, very, very thick cloud. We did have a brief period there of some slightly thinner low cloud, and it was just the upper cirrus and that was dominating. However, it's starting to fill in again, and we're going to see much of this throughout today. Rain radar, again, that very much tells its story. Uh, Quite intense precipitation, maybe an hour or two ago. We're in a small gap at the moment, but not really enough to do anything with. It's still raining quite lightly, and there's plenty more bringing up the rear. And in terms of the forecast, we'll run the Met Office predictions through. See, mid-morning, we can expect quite intense rain in places as well. Um, Thinning out a little bit mid to late afternoon, so that's about 1:30. So we've still got bits of light rain, but by maybe 3 o'clock, we should start to get clearance with some heavy showers. But there's the possibility of fitting some flying in here and there, albeit quite unlikely. Into the evening, however, those clearances are becoming more regular and the showers are less frequent. So the evening group may very well be able to get something in around those showers. So Odeon then, the Odeon TAF is fairly sizable. We've got 200 to southwesterly at 12 knots. With greater than 10 kilometer visibility and few clouds at 800 feet, and then breaking at 4,500 feet. Then between 9 and 3 o'clock, we've got 6,000 meter visibility, rain and light drizzle, breaking 800. And then between the same hours, 3,500 meter vis with drizzle, heavy showers, and later on some stronger, gustier winds, 230, 15 gusting 26. And then later into the evening as well, poorer visibility with showers scattered at 2,000 feet. Farnborough, not quite as long, but much the same story. Southwesterly 210, 12 knots. Few at 1,200 feet, scattered at 3,000 feet. Between 7 and 3, got 7,000 meter visibility, rain and showers. breaking out to 1,200 feet. And there's a prop 30 in between for earlier this morning, between 7 and 10 local. 4,000 meter visibility, heavy rain, and breaking at 900 feet, which I suspect is what we're seeing just now. The spot winds to the south of us, we've got 240 and 250 about 20 knots, and to the north 230 at 20 knots as well. Just looking at the 215, Memphis 215, because it paints quite a good picture of today. The fronts and zones here are valid as of 12 Zulu, so that'll be 1 o'clock local the time this afternoon. See, we're very much in area C here, possibly even C1, or just slightly to the south of C1. But lots of heavy rain, possibly even some thunderstorms to the north of us later on. And associated with that warm sector, and it's fairly classic setup there. Surface wind, windy showing at the moment very southwesterly. We're expecting that to veer a little bit around more westerly later on and become a bit more down the runway, maybe slightly offset. But it's fairly brisk at the moment, probably around 10, 15 knots in places, gusting up towards 20. And we can check that with the local Met Office forecast. South-southwesterly to begin with, becoming more southwesterly, 11 gusting 23, sort of being the average throughout the day. Heavy rain reducing into the afternoon with sort of more like showers, and then a little bit more rain possibly into the early evening. Temperature around 14, 15 degrees, feeling a bit cooler with that wind. It's going to be pretty poor visibility throughout, to be honest, associated with this weather and a very high humidity. GFS giving us similar sort of 12, 13 degrees in terms of temperature and a dew point of 12 or 13 degrees, which explains a great deal of the weather that's outside. We just refresh the webcam view and you can see there a little bit of a deterioration since the last picture. Low clouds, reasonably brisk westerly wind, but lots of moisture on the camera there as well, so not particularly positive outlook. And if we look at the weather station as well, we've got 12 degrees with a dew point of 10. On SkySight, so on the left there is your excerpt from the potential flight distance. As you can probably expect, not very much of that at all. The point forecast, however, showing rain throughout almost all of the day with a brief period of respite around 3 o'clock for an hour or so. So there's possibility of getting something in there. No sort of potential really, not that's usable for us anyway. And much in agreement with the winds southwesterly, becoming southwesterly, between 10 and 15, gusting up towards 20. Pressure dropping throughout the day, down towards 1,000, but then picking up into tomorrow and rising back to just short of 1010. The cloud distribution then on top Meteo starting 9 o'clock local. We can see down in our area here lots of thick auto queue and sub 2,000 foot cloud in the local area. We run that through hour by hour. You can see it does move, it does begin to clear. I mean, that's 12 o'clock now, still pretty unpleasant. But by 2, 3 o'clock, starting to get just a little bit more queue below the auto queue. And so it's starting to open up a little bit, and with that, hopefully a little bit less rain. Giving us an opportunity to do a bit of flying, clearing actually even more into about 6 o'clock. But then unfortunately, it does start to work its way in again. But hopefully, I mean, that's no 11 o'clock. It's clear behind, but unfortunately, it will have missed the day by that stage. But there is an opportunity potentially, I think, late afternoon, early evening for an hour or two's worth of flying. NOTAMs then, we've got 26, as normal, we've got Bath and Stacey. 31 is Delta 132 Ash Ranges, and 27 that's Bursley. And they're firing flares, but that's not until about 8 or 9 o'clock this evening. At 30, There's a BBMF fly past of Odium outside of the Odium 100 NOTAM hours, and that's between 17:15 and 17:45 Zulu. So that will be 6:15 to 6:45 local time. And that's from surface to 2,500 feet. So that's something for the evening group to keep an eye out for. And the Odium 100 aerial photography, of course, the brief was as yesterday. We'll move on to that shortly as part of the airfield briefing. We'll begin, however, with the Odium cross section to finish off on the Met side of things. And see, really rather unpleasant outlook there. Lots of the lower cloud that we are expecting based on the rest of the predictions. We've actually got some embedded queue as well there, and that's running all throughout today. It's a thick layer of cloud from sort of 500 feet up to in excess of flight level 100. Later on, though, about 3, 4 o'clock, you can see we get a cloud base of about 2,000 feet. A little bit of turbulence, but hopefully reduced frequency of those showers. Glider bookings, so we've got two K21s for the course. We've got K21 booked instruction, and there's a K21 for the casual list. We've also got two K13s allocated to MERS Solo to Bronze course, and there's a K13 for trial lessons as well. There's all the single seaters have availability on them, and there is one instructor and no students present on the casual list. Simulator is fully serviceable for your use today, and we have nothing to report from 2XL. So just a reminder for the area or proposed area of intense aerial activity around Odium. On this chart here, it's quite difficult to see, but there are copies distributed throughout both the flying office and the clubhouse. Lasham being down in this bottom corner here. So anywhere sort of north or west of Lasham is going to be potentially used by a camera ship for some aerial photography. It will be no more than two, maybe maximum 3 aircraft at one time, but that's active today between 8 and 16:30 Zulu. So that would be between 9 o'clock and 5:30 local. So in summary, we've got unsettled conditions with rain, low cloud throughout the day. There's a possibility of a clearance late afternoon. We'll just have to see what happens. We'll be operating today if we do runway 27, cables on the grass to the south, and do be ready when the cable log tug arrives. There's your airfield setup, obviously not landing or taxiing across disused runways shown here in red, with the winch to the south, and they're returning from the north hard. That's all for this morning. We'll see you very shortly. Let's make use of this morning, be it through the simulator or through some theory. We're around if you need to do some bronze exams, anything like that. So let's use our time wisely. If we do go flying, let's keep it safe. We'll see you out there and have fun. Thank you.